Oh crap, you scared the hell out of me. Well, I went up the hill. I was looking for a cap rock for my little thing over there. And I found a piece of leverite. I know, it looks like sandstone, doesn't it? It's like sandstone. But that there, folks, is leverite. Because I got it up my stairs on that board. And I'm going to lever right there. That's the leverite. Lever right there. But that's going to be one of my cap rocks that goes across the top. Now, the piece you see standing up over there, and the piece you see down there, I chiseled off that thing because it weighed about twice as much as what it did. That's a couple 100 pounds right there. And I'm going to have to put those up on pillars. So what we're doing here, I'll show y'all. So these two stones right here are going to sit on a flat rock, which I have right there. Okay? And it's going to go out as far out as where the chimney is going to be. Okay? And it's going to come in so far, and then I'm going to add a couple rocks. But for this cap rock, at the edge of this, I'm going to make a couple little rock walls. And as soon as I chisel the top of that thing off, when I get it up here, if I can, I'm going to put probably this end through the wall, right, as much as I can. And then I got to make the chimney. The bottom rock is going to go in here. So these will set on it. That's going to go through the wall. Not as far as the bottom, but it's going to go through the wall. And the edge of this thing, when I knock it off, square it up, is going to be the front edge of the chimney going up. So, that's what we got going on right now. Since I don't have a saw anymore, my other one's down at the house. Well, anyways, that's what we're going on, kids. Here shortly, I'm gonna see if they'll all match up what I want to do. And if I have to, I pulled another big rock right over there off the hill. And there's a few more over there. But we're gonna see how well I can get this set up. And if it sets up good, I'll pull all the rocks that we're gonna do the little opening to the fireplace inside here, because the leverite's going to stay right there. That leverite is right there. I'm going to leave it right there. And so if it works, I got to square off that end. I got to square a little bit off this end. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Just skewer it off, because I'm going to try and pull as much through the wall as I can, and, you know, kind of even it out, because I want some on this part of the wall and some on this part of the wall. This will actually probably scoot to like that. Protect the wood on both sides, and then from here I'll make a little rock wall, because it doesn't, and I'll try and put some slate straight up and down in here. They don't have to be big. Just I'm gonna make a wall in here. Same thing with over here. The cap rock will go on these little rock walls to help stabilize it. And the two rocks that are going on the inside will stabilize the rest of it. And then when I get all that mess done up, where the rock walls are actually going to hold the rock and the front's going to be through, I can put in some little rocks where it doesn't quite match up. Put some rocks in there, slab it all down with some mud, push the mud in there, and then once that's all done, yeah buddy, yeah, we're gonna have this just right. If I have to, I can trim this down a little bit more. This entire, from here to over here, that was all that rock and the other rock. That was all right here. And it had a natural split to it. So I just took the hammer and chisel, knocked it on a couple of places, bing. And then this had a big point on it, which I didn't want. So I scoured that off and cut it. So, yeah. But I want this flat portion right here on top. Well, you can put stuff on it, whatever. It won't get, it'll get warm, but it won't get hot. So, I don't like making it out of sandstone, but that's the natural rock around here. So, it's either slate or sandstone, and slate pops. Sandstone does too, but the only thing it does is when it pops a little bit, it releases dirt, right? So, it would take thousands of fires to burn through that. As long as, you know, you burn it and you can chisel it away, burn it, chisel it away. It would take quite a few fires. And it would have to be real, real hot to pop all that off. And since there's going to be little fires in there, I'll put that on there. If that thing gets destroyed, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and on top of the little rock walls that are going to be here to help support it, I'll just go get a piece of plate steel. And then I can put another rock, a couple rocks up on top of it so it looks natural. I could even do that right now. Just the underside of this is kind of curved. So we'll see what's going on. I'm almost thinking plate steel and then this rock. Because, I mean, I want it to kind of look natural. But the plate steel would catch the heat. And since it won't get red hot, the rock won't pop and destroy. So I'll have to go find me some plate steel. I know where I can get some. So anyway, yes, boys and girls, this is heavy lifting at its best. It took just about everything I had just to get that rock up those stairs. I just laid the board down there, used my legs and picked it up as far as I could get it until it started kind of teeter-tottering. And I held the rock up with my legs, reached back there with my hand, picked up the board, and slid the damn thing in. And that's another good reason why I got these boards cut, to help me with leverage. Yes. So anyways, since that buck, I've seen 3 or 4 more deer walk past. They've been does. One doe with a fawn. So yeah, they all just walking right across up here. They're getting used to my smell, the smell of campfire, the smell of you know, just the sounds of me working up here. They're getting so used to it. This is what I want. And then put the corn down there. So, but anyways, just wanted to show you my piece of leverite. And I didn't find that too far up the hill. In fact, if you see that log right there, and then there's a log right there, you can see the hole I dug it out of right between them. And I just slid it right down. And then that one right there, I got that one right just above this little tree right here. And just flopped it and slid it down. Now there's bigger rocks right here, which I'm going to pull out and use for the chimney. So, I ought to get some of these bigger, thicker rocks in here. Like some of those. And if I can find some that's kind of flat on both sides that are bigger. Kind of like that one. Almost like that one. That one's not quite flat. But, or get some thinner, longer ones that are flat on both sides. I can use those as the rock walls over here. That would be awesome. Have the actual rock go all the way down to the floor. Right? And then I can mud the bottom, just that little crease in the bottom. and then put that next to it, and maybe get 2 of them, just mud in between them, make sure the mud's all right, and then be on the way. So thinking about it, for the caprock, I think I'm gonna go down and find me a piece of metal. Now I know how long this thing's gonna be. I'll cut it. The opening is, what did I say, 27, 28 inches? Something like that. There it is. Alright, so let's measure this together again. It's 29. So if I make the piece of iron 29 inches, right? Enough to fit on these rocks and fit between, but there's like a little space on it. Maybe I'll do it 28. Because 28 will fit over the rocks and it'll give it some space, right? And, well, the fire's going to be out here. So I can do it like 30 inches and have it overhang. And then have the rocks sit on top. Because this is better than, this is over 30 inches. It's like 32. If I knock that edge off, it's 30 inches. If I have that sitting straight up on that plate, right? So it looks natural. And have it cover most of the plate. So all I got to do is put the plate on there. And then I'll probably flip the rock over, because this is the part that's straight, which is not really what I wanted to do. Or if I can take a little off that point on the other side. Whatever I can do, we're gonna see what we can do, because I kind of want it flat on the top. Just because, might get to set something on there like drying out boots, drying out gloves. Because above here somewhere, I'm gonna have to do a little cutout in the logs. And I've got to cut myself a big, thick 4-inch chunk of wood, 4 inches thick. And depending on how deep I want it, I know how wide I want it. It's going to go across this by, 6 inches on each side. And it's going to be a little bit above it. And bring it out probably 8 inches. So I'll have to, if it's 12 inches wide, I'll inset it 4 inches. And then I'll put little counterboards from the lip down to the logs and nail those in, right, to hold it up steady. That's my little mantle, but I can do the mantle afterwards. Since I don't have a saw and I can't work on the walls and shit, we'll just go ahead and work on this little doodad here, since I kind of need to get it done anyways, get it set in there, so when I get the log put on top, right, then all I got to do is, there should be a rock in between all that. Or if not, I can put some rocks in there before I flip the board over. And then all I got to do is slide some chinking in there. You know, just for the time being, I can take some rocks and stick them in there, some little flat rocks and stuff, to kind of make it even with the top of the log. I can mud all that stuff, because the heat is going to cure all that mud, and it'll be okay. So, and I don't want the metal, if I get metal, I don't want it going, well, I can have it go out past the wall. I really want it to go out a little bit past the wall, but I just want it sitting on the rocks. I don't want it sitting close to the logs too much because of the heat. Unless the thing gets red hot, I don't think it's going to catch the logs on fire, but I will put a buffer of mud in between them. That way, it's got to go through the mud, which the heat won't go through the mud all that well. So I don't catch the cabin on fire. And because the fires are going to be small anyways. I'm not going to have a roaring fire in here. So all it's going to be doing is enough to heat up, you know. I mean, it's going to be 4, maybe 5 log fire, small, real small. Just enough for heating up. And so I got that rock out of there. So anyways, guess you know. If you don't know, I'll tell you. See ya!